Amendment public hearing throws up old and new ideas in different parts of the country. Insecurity remains on the front burner in different conversations on the state of the nation as experts provide concepts on youth engagement as a positive tool in arresting restiveness. Also on Political Update today, we will revisit the Kebbi boat mishap and chart a way forward on patrol, rescue, and standard water transportation procedures to avert future occurrences. We will also track inter- and intra-party activities as some parties recalibrate to ensure greater political relevance. I am Fisai Ogunfuyi. Welcome. Governor Ben Ayade of Cross River State has been speaking about the reasons for his defection from the PDP to the governing APC. He described President Muhammadu Buhari's sincere commitment to Nigeria as a major attraction. Also, Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello was also at the State House.
You are welcome, Your Excellency. Thank you very much, sir. Welcome in 2 ways. Welcome to...
A warm welcome by President Muhammadu Buhari to Governor Ben Ayade of Cross River State. This is their first formal engagement since the governor's defection to the governing APC. Details of their discussions held behind closed doors were not disclosed. Governor Ayade, however, told newsmen shortly after that President Muhammadu Buhari is the reason for his decision to abandon the party that brought him to power.
I have watched him and have related closely with him. I have traveled with him overseas severally, and I find honesty, integrity, character, decency in him. And I see his wish and commitment to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So to that extent, I have a leader that I trust. Moving to the center and supporting the president is to reduce the threat to the national unity that we have. If Nigeria fails, Africa will fail.
The governor condemned in strong terms the way and manner members of the opposition parties in Nigeria rejoice over the challenges bedeviling the country, describing it as bad politics.
You rejoice over the bloodbath in your country. You rejoice over the level of insurgency and killings in your country just because you are playing opposition. And the cascading downstream effect is that your country will become ungovernable over a course of time. And you might have a civil war. You might have a civil strife that will be beyond the carrying capacity of the state. And once that happens, you have no guarantee that the next bomb or the next attack will not be you or me. So what do we need to do to lower that temperature? We need to come together and support Mr. President to bring value and create a prosperity agenda for Nigeria. And the ruling party is saying, my doors are open.
Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State was also granted audience by the president where issues of security as well as economic development in respect of the confluent state were discussed.
I use the opportunity to appreciate Mr. President for what he has been doing for us in this country, in keeping us together and ensuring that Nigeria remain united. And I equally assure Mr. President of our own continued support and effort in making sure that Kogi State, being the gateway between the north and south, will continue to hold forth and ensure that the center holds. Mr. President is very pleased with our achievement and successes so far in Kogi State, and he urged me and the rest of us to do more.
Governor Yahaya Bello used the opportunity to assure those urging him to run for the presidency that he will give them what he called a resounding response when the time comes.
A week after the tragic boat mishap in Wara, Kebbi State, the state and indeed Nigeria is still reeling from the colossal loss of lives. The Nigeria Governors Forum this week stressed the need for the enforcement of safety measures in marine transportation in Nigeria.
The chairman Nigerian Governors Forum and Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayemi led a strong delegation comprising of the chairman Northern Governors Forum and Plateau State Governor Simon Bakolalon and the chairman PDP Governors Forum Sakkwato State Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal to sympathize with the government and the people of Kebbi State over the incident. Governor Kayode, who described the boat mishap as unfortunate, prayed the Almighty to prevent its reoccurrence. He emphasized the need to enforce safety measures in marine transportation as an effort to minimize the occasional unfortunate mishap incidents in the country.
It's a point that I believe should be generally taken up by us as leaders. The search and rescue capacity of our emergency services really ought to be prepared for any eventuality of this type, and with enforcement of even safety regulations.
He also announced the Nigerian Governors Forum donation of 50 million naira to the victims and families of the deceased. The Kebbi State Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu expressed appreciation over the concerns shown by Nigerians.
Now, still on that tragedy, the member representing Ngaski, Shanga and Yauri Federal Constituency of Kebbi State, Dr. Yusuf Tanko Sununu, was earlier in our studio to shed more light on the causes of boat mishaps in the area and possible solutions to the recurring problem.
In terms of Kainji Dam development, the Yauri Emirate, which comprises of Ngaski, Shanga and Yauri itself, contributed almost 70% of the land mass. So that you find that if you go to Yauri Emirate, it's entirely a displaced emirate. From where they are, it's now occupied by water, to uphill where the new houses were built for them as at that time. Now what we have now, when the dams were constructed and waterways were also joined to the River Niger, it happens that we have a very big body of rocks and big trees along the line. Those are now causing us an obstacle. If you look at the
inside
pattern,
the river?
Yes, inside the river. Because at that time, blasting was not done and the trees were not cut. So most of them left behind a very strong and huge stumps in the rivers along the waterways. Now the water usually comes and recedes. It usually comes around November, December up to January. And then by around March, April, May, it will start receding back. Now when it recedes, those heavy rocks and the stump of the trees will now be close to water surface. And most of them are getting boots and canoes. They cannot identify it. So all of a sudden when a boot is loaded, will come and hit those rocks or the same, and you then have the boot or the canoe breaking into pieces or tumbling on itself to capsize, thereby leading to a loss of life. And then to add to that also, of recent we notice, and everybody is aware, sands is coming into River Niger. From where? Nobody can say. Is it part of the overall deforestation program that is affecting not? So that the water where it used to be like, say, 80 meters deep is now less than 20 meter deeps, or let's say around 30 or 40 meter deep. So that when the water now, when the rain comes, little capacity, the river has little capacity. So once the water comes, it easily overflowed. And that's why you see last year, we have one of the worst devastating history of flood in the history of the country. And what we have now today is the worst boot mishap that we had in Kebbi. We had it in 2017. 2017, both Kebbi State in general lost almost 246 people. And then this year, it happens that there are some young men, women, and children that have gone outside Wara to an area in Niger State we call Lokomina for their day-to-day activities. And they're finished, they were trying to come back home. So there were about almost over 165 passengers in the canoe. So along the line, midway, the canoe broke into pieces. And then
maybe it hit someone of those rocks again?
Well, most likely it could have hit something, or it runs over a tree and in topple on the side and then capsize. So these are the possibilities, because the water depth has reduced, and then there are those heavy rocks and some of trees are near the surface area.
What is your plea now?
My plea now is to the federal government. We have to reinforce and then provide safe waterway transportation. In my area, 90% of transportation are usually waterways. So there is need for the Nigerian Inland Waterways and also NIMASA. I included NIMASA here because that also River Niger provide a direct connection from Yaouri to Benin Republic around Togo. So we have canoes, heavy ones, coming with a lot of products to Yaouri as their final destination. So there is need for, as an international route, there is need for NIMASA to also consider that as an area of their own oversight, especially now that we have an insecurity that is pervading all over the country. We don't know what is coming there. So there is need for them to listen. The Marine Police also need to do it. But most importantly, the federal government, through the agency that they have now established, the HABATEC, Power Producing Areas Development Commission, and also the NIWA, can come out together to ensure that those heavy rocks, especially as we are now, most of them are on the surface because the water has caught, are blasted, and then the stump of the trees are also removed. And then to ensure that also the dredging that has stopped at Baro Port is extended to Yaouri and even to Ilo area so that that water can provide navigation and intensify the international route as an alternative for transportation into the country. That can serve, if we have a port, since the final destination of canoes and boats coming from the Benin Republic is Yaouri, then there is a need for us to have at least a mini port at Yaouri so that we can have all these issues can be addressed holistically.
Okay, let me come in here. Have you gotten any succor from federal agencies, or we understand that the Governors Forum were trying to reach out to the victims as well? What is the status at the moment?
Well, the status at the moment is quite decent. It's a joint concerted effort by everybody. We must thank all the stakeholders that were involved, and they have done what is expected of them. The president, starting with the president, he condoled with people of Kebbi State and also the family of those who are involved and those of us representing them. We also have the, as you mentioned, Nigerian Governors Forum were in Kebbi and ably represented and donated a sum of almost 50 million to the state. So also our neighbors, Zamfara and Sokoto State also donated sum of money that can provide some to this. His Excellency is also not out of place. He was there fiscally. He has also directed that things should be done instantly to bring relief to the families of victims. And also, even here at National Assembly, the Right Honorable Speaker, who is also a traditional title holder in my own emirate, as the Sadaukin Yaouri, sent a delegation which I led to Kebbi, to the Kebbi State Governor, and also to the Yaouri Emirate. And then he also made a personal donation of some sum to the victims. I also made a personal donation. So also the Senator Aleru, Senator Nala, Deputy, the Senate leader, and a lot of major stakeholders have made bold enough. But most importantly, also the local government has done beyond imagination and beyond expectation. The chairman was there all through. He was responsible in ensuring that those who survived were given immediate aid. He was also sure that he also coordinated the response to make sure that bodies are recovered. There is an estimated sum of almost 155 also that died, but we are only able to recover less than 80 corpses. So you see, this shows that we also need an emergency intervention, that those who are responsible or in charge of waterways, especially in Yaouri, I said it has been perennial. It's not only today. This is not the first time, it's not second, it's not the third. So we should have a rescue boat stationed in Yaouri and Shanga, Yaouri and Wara, so that at the slightest this thing we can rescue. Let me cite an example why this must be important. There's a woman that was interviewed who alone on herself saved almost 6 to 7 people. She could have saved more than that. But she said that she was swimming, holding on to a jerrycan of empty jerrycan, and was carrying 4 people. Then her relations were crying, "Are you going to leave us? We are going to die." So she turned back, and she almost lost the jerrycan she was swimming with. So somebody has to throw a food cooler to her, which she now uses and rescue some people. So she said they swim for about 2 hours before they can get a local canoe that will come and rescue those 22 people that survived. So you understand? So in those 2 hours that they have been wobbling inside water, if we have an emergency response preparedness that is directly related to our waterways, I'm sure that it will get to them within 30 minutes, and a lot of people will have survived the mishap. So I think it's not out of place for us to make that emergency call and also to inspire that our marine police must also come to be responsible to their duties to ensure that capacity of all the booths is not exceeded.
Thought-provoking interview there from Kebbi State. Now, PDP stakeholders in Kano State have commenced the process of reviving the founding legacies of the party with a view to positioning the party to the path of electoral victory. An all-inclusive stakeholder meeting was convened to that effect by the party faithful to chart a way forward.
Prolonged internal crises leading to factionalization and defection have over the years affected the electoral fortunes of the PDP in Kano State. This, according to these stakeholders, must be addressed such that the founding legacy of the party of broad-based democratic principle takes the center stage to usher in a formidable people's party. Consequently, all the three major camps that collectively formed the party and worked for its success in 1999 are at this meeting to close the rank and chart the way forward.
We have come through difficult times. We have gone through demoralizing situations. But by the grace of God, we've been able to sustain and maintain our support.
We are sealing up that agreement and that groups for us to push ahead.
This time around, by the grace of God, we look forward to coming together.
So we are all here and we are going to give all ourselves, our resources, mental and every support.
A group under the aegis of Ebonyi State APC stakeholders has described recent media attacks and criticism of the governor of the state, David Umahi, as backlash from those aggrieved over his defection to the APC. The group, led by Julius Ucha, the commissioner representing the Southeast in the National Assembly Service Commission, says that the protection of lives and property and rapid development of the state remains the top priority of the governor.
Instead of staying in Abuja to create fear in the minds of the citizens of Ebonyi State, we felt very strongly that that claim was mischievous, it was misleading, and is not founded on anything other than falsehood. We mentioned a security outfit that was created not by the governor. It was a decision of Southeast Governors Forum to create a security outfit in the whole state, in the whole 5 states of Southeast. That outfit that was created by all the states in the Southeast was intended to be used as thugs to harass opposition, to intimidate opposition. That is what we have come to tell the world the truth and to condemn it that that is not true. It's an outfit that is just on, they just started the process. It has not even fully taken off as to talk about using it for the purposes of any intention to harm anybody. And of course, before this time, the members of the Fourth Estate of the realm, the press, would have also known that Ebonyi State was one of the most peaceful states in the country.
Still moving on now, the National Secretariat of the All Progressives Congress played host to party supporters who are keen to sustain the party's winning momentum in future elections. The group expressed their desire for a peaceful conduct of area council elections within the Federal Capital Territory.
Elections were held in the presence of all the relevant stakeholders, including INEC and security agencies. We do not want to sound pessimistic, but the recent defection of some aggrieved members of party as a result of the just concluded primaries in some area councils is a strong indication that we need to put our house in order. If we truly want to earn the people's confidence and win election, we as party loyalists are worried and spend sleepless nights. We are appealing to the Maimala Buni-led caretaker committee to justify why they were entrusted with the responsibility of uniting the party by resisting pressure from any self-serving person or group.
A bit from the sub-region now, the ECOWAS Parliament is concerned that the security situation in Nigeria could undermine its capacity to support the stability of other West African countries.
In clear and unambiguous terms, the security situation in Nigeria is dire. There has been tremendous increase in the spate of unfettered violence, abductions, and killings by terrorist groups, bandits, and other criminal elements.
Nigeria has helped almost every African country in the sub-region. I want to ask them if they will request for international support.
That reality of insecurity, we must stand up to it, admit it exists, and do all that we can to deal with it.
If you have weak policing systems, especially at the borders of our neighboring countries, it allows for infiltration of illegal arms and ammunition, especially from the northern part of Africa.
An injury to one country should be injury to other countries. We have people from within and outside the country that have been causing confusion, especially by bringing arms into the country, and that will not augur well for the country.
That is political update for today. We thank you for watching. Of course, we have an eye on Anambra State and all the, party primaries. We'll be giving you all the updates. And of course, when it's getting to the home straight, we'll also be bringing some of the key actors. Stay tuned to the Nigerian Television Authority, where we give you the very best of news, reviews, previews, and interviews. And for the rest of your week, of course, and the weekend, stay with us to give you undiluted news programs as well. So play your politics for the greater good. Bye-bye now.
Done 24 hours a day. NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide a company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview channel 264, or live streaming via www.visiontv.co.uk. Application for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.